In the summer of 1968, Paramount Pictures released their film adaptation of Ira Levin's smash hit novel, Rosemary's Baby. Written and directed by Roman Polanski in his mainstream Hollywood debut, and starring newcomer Mia Farrow, the film was similarly successful with both critics and audiences, grossing 10 times its budget and winning an Academy Award for Ruth Gordon's supporting performance. On its surface, the film is a tale of a woman deceived and coerced by her husband and neighbors into giving birth to the literal spawn of Satan. And on this level, it certainly works. But what truly drew audiences in and had them simultaneously hungry for more and begging for a ceasefire is the film's rich subtext regarding female reproductive rights and the overall treatment of the female body by the patriarchal system. Even before Rosemary becomes pregnant, her nosy, elderly neighbor, Minnie Castavets, asks Rosemary if she and her husband Guy have children, or are planning to have any. Right away, Rosemary's worth is evaluated based on her capacity to bear children, betraying some rather old-fashioned ideals regarding the female body. Roman, Minnie's similarly patriarchal husband, quickly wins Guy over to his side and convinces Guy to prostitute his own wife out to the devil so that the Antichrist can be born. The actual conception of the baby further cements the central dilemma of the film, when Rosemary is not only unknowingly drugged to achieve a chemical complacency, but is forcibly tied down and violently raped by Satan himself. Rosemary is in no state to give consent, but her husband has sold her body anyway. The rape scene itself is certainly pushing the envelope of the crumbling production code like the shocking violence of Bonnie and Clyde before it. The movie was given a simple, approved rating, which perhaps calls into question the morals of the certification board that would only a year later give the dreaded box office killing X rating to Midnight Cowboy, a film merely about willing gay prostitution, rather than full-out agency-robbing rape. Rosemary awakens and believes the rape was a dream, but still notices long, bloody cuts on her body. Guy offers the explanation that he had his way with Rosemary even though she was comatose. The fact that Rosemary accepts this with little fuss once she realizes she is pregnant is quite bewildering to a modern audience, but such agreement with the status quo was unfortunately common at the time of the film's release. The horror does not stop here. During Rosemary's arduous pregnancy, she becomes excruciatingly ill with a constant pain in her abdomen. Though she rightfully complains of the pain to her sexagenarian doctor, Guy, and the Castavets, she is not listened to, and told to suppress her ailments with herbal remedies. Old-fashioned ideals of how pregnancy is supposed to work hold dominance over Rosemary through the Castavets and Guy's alignment with them. In this way, old people are made out to be an other, a group with outdated, harmful notions of medical care that will inevitably bring ruin to Rosemary and her baby. The only solace Rosemary can find is with female friends of her own age, who encourage her to seek out a more modern doctor who will listen to her complaints and give her the care she needs. Contemporary female audiences would have found great empowerment in this particular scene, which encourages women to take charge of their own bodies and medical care. When Rosemary unwisely brings this concern to Guy, he expressly forbids her from seeking out the doctor she wants to see. Rosemary's formerly sweet husband is now exercising complete control over her body, and the way that she wants to care for herself and her child. In a very interesting way, this harkens back to the female Gothic films of the 1940s, Rebecca, Suspicion, Gaslight, etc., all of which centered around the frightening question, can I trust my husband? In all of these films, a young, naive female protagonist weds a seemingly gentle, charming older man, and soon discovers his capacity for physical violence and dominance. The house becomes not a place of refuge, but a dangerous prison. In the same way, Rosemary's Baby depicts Rosemary's gradually dissolving trust in Guy, and her definite imprisonment in the apartment next door to the satanic Castavets. Some discussion of the religious trope is also warranted. To this reviewer, the fact that the Castavets and their horde are near cartoonishly evil, devil-worshipping witches is redundant to the film's overall themes and effect. Polanski, or Levin for that matter, could have written them as Nazi doctor holdouts, Russian spies, or just plain murdering psychopaths. The main issue is that they appear to be normal, everyday people who later turn out to be capable of inflicting great harm against Rosemary. By film's end, Rosemary's agency has been so stripped away by the elderly and younger male patriarchal forces that her baby is forcefully taken from her. She isn't even allowed to christen her baby with the carefully selected names she had picked out, instead having this choice made for her by Roman Castavets. Furthermore, Rosemary is only allowed to act as the child's mother if she cares for him on the cult's satanic terms. The movie successfully creates a palpable sense of terror through an extreme audience identification with Rosemary. Polanski adapts the novel in such a way that we only know what Rosemary knows. No scenes take place that she is not in, and we are not privileged to any information that she couldn't be aware of. Polanski also does this by only depicting non-Rosemary characters in close-up when they are seen from Rosemary's direct POV. Our vision is her vision. This incredible subjectivity puts us directly in Rosemary's situation and causes us to feel similarly paranoid and persecuted. Because of the incredible ways the movie asks the audience to identify with Rosemary directly, as it deals with issues of female reproductive rights, the film probably appeals most to female viewers. When one considers the upheaval of this time period, as women became very aware of the ways men attempted to control their bodies, the draw for a female audience seems inescapable. However, any suitably woke viewer can appreciate the movie's terrifying depictions of the patriarchy's domineering possessiveness, whether they are male or female. This is a horror classic, and I would personally award it a full 10 out of 10.